Hi, Kwonyin.
Hello, Sylvia. Hi, hi,
Um,
hi.
yeah, you and I had a busy week, so I'm glad to be connecting with you today.
Yes, it is
Yay.
almost full moon.
Yes. Thanks
A
for the
lot of
reminder.
things are amplified and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
feeling some shadow amplification today.
Mm-hmm.
Just like extra sensitive and irritable for me.
Mm. I've just been feeling super sleepy, just
Mm,
tired and just wanting to
mhm,
sleep and feel
mm,
cuddled and just, yeah,
mhm,
yeah.
mhm,
Hence my outfit today.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Cozy and cuddly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, I'm just demon cleaning, seeing like, oh, that's not supposed to be there. That's not supposed to be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just vacuuming, angry vacuuming, or
Yeah.
anxious vacuuming.
Got it. Well, did you have a good time experiencing that? Like, was there resistance to that?
I felt really aligned.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Yeah, but still there's this energy that's, mm, I would say it's probably not so pleasant to be around me when I'm in that state because I'm just
Yeah.
feeling maniacal, like
Mm.
maniac. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Mhm.
I see.
But obviously I've chilled out a bit now.
But when you're in that state, is there resistance or do you consciously surrender to it?
I consciously surrendered.
Okay.
I
Okay.
said, okay, I'm in that crazy mood and I'm just
Hmm.
gonna go with it.
Okay. So curious again, then I want to ask you another one. So if you consciously choose it and you
Yeah.
surrender into that state,
Yeah.
like, um, how does it feel? Because I feel like you're aware of both. Like, when you surrender, you're experiencing like something that may not feel good,
Hmm.
but then at the same time, you are knowing that you're consciously choosing it. So
Hmm.
does it feel worse when you consciously choose it, or is it the same, you think? Like, I feel like it's a little bit better when you consciously choose it, even though it's painful.
Yeah, I definitely feel uh relief when I can just admit that I'm in that full moon lunatic place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think what makes it hard though, even though I choose and I feel relief, okay, this is what I'm doing now.
Hmm.
Start cleaning everything.
Hmm.
But there is some resistance of I'm not quite letting myself be okay that I'm this way.
Mm. Okay, that's a good awareness.
There's a little bit of judgment.
Hmm.
Like, God, can you just chill and just do your work? But I literally felt like I couldn't sit down. I couldn't
Mm.
be calm.
Mm. So So it seems like you are able to support yourself in that state to surrender,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is a good
But there's a
thing.
little bit of God, but
But
is this
yeah, there's a
really
limit.
what I'm supposed to is this really what I should be doing right now?
Yeah.
I had a
Yeah.
plan. I had a list of things,
Yeah.
but it was literally my body, everything else was taking me in the other direction.
Yeah.
So I just, I'm going along with it, but there's a little bit of tug of war inside.
Mm. Mm. And that's the resistance that I think we all just kind of, if we catch, we work through
Yeah.
so that our shadow, like we can see that our shadow is our friend
Yeah.
because it's always there, I guess, desiring to be of some sort of help, even shadow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The shadow, yeah, there was something like it wanted to be acknowledged.
Mm.
Yeah. And
Oh, wait. Question there. When you said it wanted to be acknowledged, so when you were in there supporting it, it wasn't feeling acknowledged enough, or was it a different flavor of acknowledgement that it needed?
it wanted to be acknowledged that there was something,
Okay.
there was dissatisfaction.
Even when you were supporting it.
Yeah. And even while I'm cleaning and supporting it, like,
Hmm.
okay, let's try to get the space that you want to feel
Yeah.
safer here, to
Yeah.
make space, clean things up,
Hmm.
make things nicer. Uh, it was this energy of, but it's like a child wanting, it just wants to whine.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Got it.
It
And
wants to whine because it's dissatisfied and
yeah.
wants comfort.
Mm.
But I can also see how, as my conscious kind of parental part,
Yeah.
it's trying to provide comfort in its cleaning and doing all this stuff to make it feel better, help
Hmm.
it feel better.
Hmm.
But there was an undercurrent of still something is not quite getting satisfied enough, still
Mm.
not enough.
Mm.
Yeah. But I think what really helped was then a I had a meeting, and there was this big kind of deep connection happening in that meeting.
Mm.
And that just really released the energy.
Yeah.
So what it needed was connection.
Mm. So when you recognize that, it felt connected.
Yeah.
Got
Mhm.
it.
So I realized there's all these different levels of ways we can meet our
Hmm.
needs.
Hmm.
And on one level, I was just tuned into the physical environment. Okay, dissatisfied. Okay, let's try to create satisfaction on the physical level.
Hmm.
And that kind of got a little closer, but it wasn't until there was deep connection happening
Yeah,
that the release happened.
I see. So I love the fact that you were able, and it like it feels like what you're revealing is like it does get safer and safer as you like find union with your shadow. Like the more you find union with your shadow, it feels safer for you to support it, even though it may feel uncomfortable.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how are you in your relationship with
Um,
shadow?
well, shadow taught me something recently. Like I was supposed to connect with a friend, but my phone ran out of battery. So I just got into this space, but I somehow intuitively just didn't want to turn on the light. And so I just surrendered there, not
In the dark?
knowing in the dark, just sitting in the dark. And I was like, okay, when my phone charges back up, then I'll connect with my friend. And so I was just sitting there in that moment. I just kind of sat, I guess it was in meditation. Um, and I just allowed whatever to come to me. And I noticed my shadow, like my gnarly shadow come through. I was like, uh-oh, why are you here? I haven't seen you for a while. The last time I connected with you was at your place. And it was, but then I could tell consciously I was feeling a little bit different towards it.
Mhm.
Yeah. So like not really fearing it in the way that I did before. And so I just surrendered because I'm like, okay, you obviously want to show me something. So I just surrendered to it. And then I really felt this part of disliking, hating, just everything opposite to it. So like light. But in the end, like what I came to realize was this part was wondering if I would completely surrender for the shadow to feel safe, to show me something. And I didn't know like that was the process that the shadow was wanting to see from me. It was almost like the shadow was doing that organically to me to see how I would recognize where I'm at with shadow, with my own shadow. And so when I was in that experiencing, not knowing why I was experiencing it, but just naturally taking, making choices to just support that shadow and just, okay, fully show me then. And I was able to stand up to it like, you can't do that. Like, you can't just hate on love and whatnot because, and I was able to call it out. I wasn't scared. I wasn't feeling enslaved to my shadow. I wasn't feeling, it was just like, I felt like I was talking to like a close friend, like you. I was
Mm-hmm.
able to call it out, but also to be in that sense of like, but I care for you. I'm doing this because I care for you too. And I feel safe with you. And in that way, I was talking to it like, yeah, like it wasn't my enemy. I wasn't talking to it like I need to push you away out of my life. I was really talking to it like I would to a friend. And so when I did, that shadow just revealed to me why it came out the way it did, because it was reflecting to me like the growth that I have with my relationship to my own shadow. And then in that moment, I was like, oh my God, I became friends with my shadow, just like I have become friends with my love and light. And that I don't, and it just made me feel like I don't need to second guess. I'm going to trust my shadow. And yes, sometimes my shadow can be a pain in the butt about like making me feel pain or anger or whatever that maybe I don't want to feel and rather just dismiss. But I feel like I can't do that anymore because it's my friend. If my friend is feeling that way, I don't want to ignore it. I really want to see and understand what you want to show me. And in that moment, I just feel like I just had this special bond with my shadow. Oh my God. I, as my neutral self, want to now see my, like, trust. Like, there was this more genuine trust of, you're my friend. And I do want to listen to you um, because you always help me to grow, just like my life. And I, like, there was like this feeling of equal support from my shadow and my light. Yeah. So it felt like light, shadow, me, just kind of all like uniting together again. I don't know. It was just
Wow.
a really nice ceremony that I had with myself in that dark. I'm like, oh. And then as soon as I had that realization, my phone just turned on like, "Bling, it's charged. You can now call your friend." I'm like, oh, okay. And then that's what
Wow.
happened. I just felt like, wow, what a magical moment. But then because of that experience, I've been finding myself consciously saying, um, like wanting to program myself of shadows on my side, just like light is on my side.
Mhm.
So whenever I feel shadow, it's going to make me feel safer to look into it and to fully support it because I know support, like you and I found out, support is everything. Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
just thinking about how sometimes these shadow parts can present as something intrusive or annoying,
Mhm.
but always if you really look into it more, there's such helpers to help you be in integrity.
Mhm.
It
Oh,
always knows how to call out something that maybe you're not feeling quite secure about, but it's an
of
opportunity to
owning it.
own it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they really are, the shadow is here to help you become
Mhm.
a more aligned
Mhm. To really
set of
call out,
integrity.
yeah,
Yeah.
the self's blind spot.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I love that,
Mhm.
um,
So th
befriending the shadow inside the darkness.
yeah. In the beginning, that before becoming friends with Shadow, yeah, the Shadow's intention is like, well, if you're mean to me, why would I have to be nice to you? You know, if you have someone that's always mean to you, why would you want to genuinely be nice to that
Hmm.
person or that part?
Yeah.
Like, so it is only natural in the beginning when you're trying to form a relationship with your shadow, where it is against you. Like, no, since when were you there genuinely for me, where
Hmm.
you want me to do that for you? Like,
Hmm.
can you do that for me, sweet? You know, it really it
Yeah.
knows how to call out blind spots. But then the more you try to like um find and resolve that situation with your shadow,
Mhm.
it will grow to want to genuinely support yourself in a healthy way.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, what was it the other week we were talking about insecurity and security?
Mm-hmm.
The shadow of insecurity is actually there when you integrate the insecurity,
Mm-hmm.
really include the insecurity, it's going to actually help you form internal cohesion and actual security,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
actually be more secure in yourself,
Mm-hmm. Genuinely.
genuinely. But
Yeah,
initially,
yeah.
in order to first heal that, you have to acknowledge the part of you that feels insecure
Mm-hmm.
and not see it as an enemy of your
Mm-hmm.
security,
Mm-hmm.
but it's
And
something that you need to help feel secure so that you as a whole feel secure.
yeah, and to
Yeah.
add on to that, it's like you can say, well, I already worked on that. So why am I still going through that? Like it doesn't work. It's like, but yeah, you did work on one, but there's maybe so many, like there could be a lot of fragments within that, you know? So it's just
Yeah.
like every time you work through it though, where even when it feels like it's never ending, but you keep working through building more security when you feel insecure, it all adds up. It all adds up eventually. That's the thing. Yeah.
I think that's such a beautiful thing to keep in mind when you're encountering a challenging moment where you're
Mhm.
confronted with your shadow,
Yeah.
with insecurity or
Hmm.
irritation,
Hmm.
whatever it is that you have this mindset you reprogram
Hmm.
yourself with,
Hmm.
the
Yeah.
shadow is my friend.
Hmm. And every time you have those moments with your shadow, you'll notice that it gives you clarity. That confusion that you are in, eventually when you like see and understand and there's that union, you will get clarity. It won't feel muddled. Yeah. And then you keep moving forward until you feel confused and muddled. You see what like explore into your shadow, your subconscious, whatnot, and you have an aha, find union with the shadow and the light, basically, and you always find clarity. Always.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you
Mhm,
keep moving forward until you get really good at that.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's just initially sometimes you have to work through the belief that I'm stuck here because of the shadow. Like
And I'm
the
stuck here
shadow
because
is
I
the
doesn't know.
reason why I'm miserable and can't
Yeah.
when because you haven't moved through it enough to understand it enough to see that that is your way.
hmm Yeah. Yeah.
You can't actually move forward
hmm
unless you genuinely
hmm
understand and integrate
hmm
that part.
And you can't get it just logically.
Yeah.
You have to experience it like for yourself to logically get it and to emotionally like have that alignment together, like with your emotional state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel a lot for me with the shadow of impatience.
Mm,
Just, it's not, something isn't happening fast enough, or I have a lot of things I want to do and I haven't done enough, and I feel impatient about progress being not fast enough.
mm-hmm.
Even as someone who's so into the yin, and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
so much of my work is about embracing the yin, but that
Yeah.
shadow always creeps up.
Yeah.
And I had to check myself again and
Mm-hmm.
again the other
Mm-hmm.
day with, oh my God, here it is, my shadow of impatience. And it's literally teaching me
Yeah.
to slow down.
Mm,
It's not about I'm impatient, so I have to go faster. It's actually the opposite.
yeah.
I need to lay off,
Mm-hmm.
lean back,
Mm-hmm.
and, and relax and get into a different mode of being so
Mm-hmm.
that the downloads can come and things can happen more easily,
Yeah.
and
And
not like I have to force
yeah.
myself to keep going when I'm not completely in alignment. So the impatience is actually teaching me how to get into true inner alignment where I'm not working against myself and my energy.
Yeah. And doesn't it happen when you do explore the shadow? You're able to peacefully, without resistance,
Yeah,
stay in patience.
yeah.
Yeah.
Then the
Because you
impatience
can't force it.
dissipates.
Yep.
Yeah,
On its own.
immediately. As
Yeah.
soon as I accept, oh, this
Yep.
is where I am,
hmm
and I accept that I don't have
Yeah.
to push right now.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't even have to force it. Like,
No.
yeah. It just happens.
So impatience is teaching me how to be not forceful
hmm hmm
myself.
hmm
Mhm.
Yeah. 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 I'm really finding myself like loving, loving like me. Yeah. Like I've been feeling lately like, good job, Sylvia, for not giving up, to continuing to just like work through it. I now see it paying off. Yeah. And
Being a
that's
friend to yourself.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Because I now feel like, okay, I'm loving my light, I'm loving my shadow. And I just feel like, oh my God, I'm recognizing good relationship. And like you said, you're there too. It's just that like we have our moments. Like you're just talking about a moment when you're going through this with shadow. Like, yeah, just because I say this doesn't mean I'm like this all day, every day.
Mhm,
Like
mhm.
still shadow has stuff to teach me and show me
Yeah,
and stuff like that. So those moments that you described, it's like, yeah, I go through those moments, but it's like, oh, because of the relationship that we kept building
mhm.
with our light and our shadow, seeing each other, like it's just, it gets easier to, I don't know, like, that a peaceful, harmonious solution will arise.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing.
Mhm.
still been feeling really like really owning it and like feeling proud of myself. Yeah,
Mm,
yeah. And it's not something that I share often
mhm.
out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always keep it to myself. So I feel even
Oh,
happy that I'm saying this out loud. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
But it's all thanks to like my conscious and subconscious.
yeah. They're
Like,
holding hands now.
mm-hmm, not
And
wanting to
they're
do
going
that more with
public
each
with their
other.
relationship.
Yes, yes. Oh my
Like
gosh.
the
You
tabloid,
said
like,
it so
look at
well.
them. Oh, look, they were seen at the supermarket holding hands.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it really feels like.
You're like,
And my
okay, we're gonna
youthful
be
self
seen.
feels so healthy and good.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, I have moments where they fight. Yeah, I have moments where they argue, but like they know how to navigate that with each other.
Mhm.
Yeah, where they have full on respect for each other
Mhm.
in their disagreement to find union again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
that.
And that's something that we both want to share.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah. This
with anyone who wants to, like,
healthy relationship with your shadow
yeah.
is possible.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And seriously, I wouldn't have been able to get here like without you and Teal and other connections that I've made along the way.
Mhm.
Yeah. So,
Oh, and
so yeah.
like this relationship will the primary relationship with you and your shadow,
Mm-hmm.
I think is probably the most important relationship because it's the basis for all other relationships.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, totally. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And
congratulations.
but it's not to say, okay, now that like I am here, I'm gonna look down on anyone who can't do that. Like it's not even that either.
No, because it's the same thing, right? Your relationship with your shadow is the same as your relationship to all shadows and
Mm-hmm.
every being.
Hmm.
And
Yep.
shadow
The
being
oneness. Yeah.
just it's just everything
Yeah.
unknown as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Being able to understand that because you discover that
Everything
within
that's
yourself.
unknown, strange, unseen,
Yeah.
what you would conventionally dislike.
Hmm. Oh, yes. Oh, and I want to say another thing. So then this morning after that experience, I realized, oh my God, I wasn't embracing my flaws. And it just dawned on me like, why was I so scared to not embrace my flaws? I now want to consciously make the practice of embracing my flaws genuinely, because that's also supporting my flaws to feel good about themselves. And why did I make it so hard for my flaws to not feel supported, that they don't deserve the support and the love? So that was a major this morning that I had where like
So,
I genuinely want to do that now. I have the space for it, and I'm going to consciously choose to not slip into being against my flaws. Yeah, yeah,
that is huge.
yeah, yeah. It
That's
is.
that is the most important practice, I believe, to really acknowledge what am I shaming in myself or seeing as a flaw,
Yeah.
even, and how could those flaws feel safe with me?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
How
Yeah.
could those flaws feel like they're safe to be seen by me and
Mm-hmm.
they're allowed to exist?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Proudly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because again, it's like the quantum observer.
Yeah.
It's not, the flaws don't exist in and of themselves as unchanging bad things. It's how
Mhm.
you perceive those things as flaw that creates flaw,
Mhm. Mhm.
or
Yeah.
it's how society perceive them to be that creates flaw, the flaw.
Yeah. Yeah.
But as soon as you alter that relationship to them, then you're transformed and the flaw is transformed.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like there's a double transformation
Yeah,
happening.
because that flaw is gonna feel so supported and cared for by the self. Like you have nothing to feel shameful of. Like me embracing and supporting my flaws is basically saying, I'm not gonna shame my flaw anymore.
Yeah.
If it it's okay to be like, oh, I don't like this about me. It's kind of like, oh, I don't like this color that I'm wearing today, so I'm gonna change it to a different color. Like that's totally okay. Like, oh, I think I want to wear makeup today instead of not wearing makeup. Like, that's totally okay. It's not me saying like just because I embrace my flaws that I'm never gonna wear makeup or I'm never, like I'm just gonna, like not to that degree because I feel like I don't know, like I feel like it could become unhealthy if you just side with just one thing all the way, like just being on one side all
Hmm.
the way. So
And you
like,
could feel one way one moment and then differently the next moment, you know?
yeah, but I don't want the pendulum to be too extreme
Yeah.
because that becomes unhealthy. It's
Hmm.
just being really aware of it of and not shaming it, but to utilize it where like it's always in a good alignment.
Hmm.
Like for me,
Hmm.
yeah, like for the self.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, because I like you can't really see, but I've been growing a lot of white hair, and I can sense why because like like this work that I do is like it takes up a lot of mental capacity and just a lot of energy, and like I can see white hair sprouting, and I've noticed myself just picking at it, like I don't want this, I don't want this, like creating like a flaw.
Mhm.
And so I'm like, wait a minute, and I decide, you know what? I don't want to shame it. If it is, then, and I know that like I'm not at a point where I want to color my hair. I don't. Like, I don't want to do that. So, but I also don't want to feel that shame towards myself.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, yeah, I want to embrace it. I want to support it, not feel shameful of myself. And that
Mm.
just allowed me to stop, like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And sometimes I realize after doing a lot of integration, there are moments where you don't have to deep dive with everything.
Mhm.
You could just have that
Yeah.
awareness and just roll with it
Mhm. Yeah.
instead of having to just like, yeah, feeling the need to integrate all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like one of the
Cool.
flaws that I shared. But yeah,
Yeah.
and it felt good. Like, oh, I feel so motivated to strengthen this part of me more so.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that's that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was catching my flaw. I wasn't sure if I should say this or not, but
Hmm.
this flaw of how I critique myself, how I speak.
Hmm.
And I think when I get nervous, I use a lot of filler words.
Hmm.
And so I was critiquing my flaw as, ah, you just use so many filler words and you're not using everything the right words.
Oh, I bet I have that too.
But yeah, I'm just thinking about how to embrace that flaw of how I speak when I'm insecure.
Yeah.
And I think the exalted form of that is let myself feel, it's like I'm only using those filler words also when I'm in a hurry. Okay,
Hmm.
there I have the shadow of being in a hurry to hurry up and get my point across very quickly. And
Yeah.
so there's this need to this discomfort with silence or spaces, and just to always have something going on with
Oh.
filler words. So what it's teaching me is I don't have to constantly be filling up the space with words. I can just take my time. Again,
Mhm.
it's an impatient energy that
Yeah.
causes me to trip over my words because I'm in such a hurry to
Yeah.
say the thing and get my point across and do it
Yeah.
in the most efficient way. But if I can just let myself be comfortable with my space and the pause and not have to fill up the space
Yeah.
constantly, then I can get relaxed and enjoy communicating.
That's a good one, Kwonyin. That's a good one. And it's connected, like you said, to your impatience.
Yeah. This
Dang, that's a good
everybody
catch.
impatient energy, my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
But it's in a way, it's there because it feels unsafe.
Yeah.
And the antidote is really just having the strong, loving presence of chill.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to get there right now.
Yeah.
And yeah, like
Yeah. Um,
settle into yourself.
what does it feel like? So curious.
What does what feel like?
That impatient part, feeling the need to be a filler.
You need to fill the space. Feels like I'm on my tippy toes, hovering in the air. Like
Mm. Like it, yeah, like
it
it
needs to
feels,
get somewhere
yeah,
fast.
like it needs to, it feels like it can't just sit here and watch it like unfold. It's like, I need to help out. I need to help out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, oh, wait, you're not fast enough. Let me help out.
Yeah.
Like it feels like it needs to fill that spot of like, let me help you do it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
We literally just energetically need to pull out a sofa and say, take a seat,
Everything's all right.
lie back.
Yeah,
Everything's all right.
yeah,
You don't have to be in control right now.
yeah. I got this. Trust me, I got this.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Like that part wants to feel trusted by that part that always chimes in.
Mhm.
Oh,
So
okay.
that it can relax the insecure fear energy.
hmm
And once it relaxed, it can then realign to inspired, excited energy.
Yeah, yeah. Dang, that's really good because even that filler knows like it's very secure in its state of like, oh, I know how to fix this. Let me help you fill in the gap, right? But now
Because it's
that
also,
her,
let me fill in the gap because I also don't trust that
uh-huh,
in this space something good will happen.
yeah, by trusting the other part to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it literally keeps
yeah. But what you've become
intervening.
aware of is no, no, no. Allow this part. This part got it. It knows how to like, it doesn't need that filler all the time. She's got it. And then that filler that's always used to it is gonna experience something so radical.
And you
And
know what?
then, yeah,
Back in the day when this shadow was much more severe,
yeah,
like way less checked
yeah.
in check, I was constantly manifesting people who were interrupting me when I talk and talking over me
Mm-hmm.
because that was me. I was doing it to myself.
Yeah,
And so, literally manifesting people in my world who are not letting me take up space talking
yeah.
because I was doing that to myself.
Wow.
But I
Wow.
just see, these are ghost remnants of a pattern that was much more intense years
Mm-hmm.
ago. But it's a continuous process
Mm-hmm.
of purification,
Mm-hmm.
acknowledging it, noticing it, and then
Mm-hmm.
shifting it.
Wow.
Yeah. It's this energy of you don't you're not going to say it right,
Yeah.
or people are going to look at you weird if you say it weird or not correctly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So either shut up, or I'm going to just be anxious trying to say something in a mumble jumbly way,
Yeah.
and so that shadow.
Yeah. I don't know why in that moment it reminded me of like the yin and then the yang, the masculine and the feminine, the parent and the child. Yeah, relationship right there when you're talking about these two aspects. Yeah. I could admit that like I became aware of like cutting people out. And I've gotten better at not doing it, but I'm still mindful of like, whoa, whoa, don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't do what? Cutting people off?
Hmm.
Oh,
Like,
when you're
yeah,
when they're talking and you interject.
yeah, yeah. Like it happens subconsciously.
Mm,
And then I've gotten so much better at like, oh, wait, 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 stop and pause. Because for me, it felt like I was going to forget the aha. I was so scared to forget the aha because it felt like such a good thing to share. Yeah. And I was so afraid of forgetting. So it had something to do with like forgetfulness.
mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah. In my shadow. Yeah. Which was the pattern that I always got reflected. You're
Yeah.
always forgetful. You
Oh.
keep forgetting.
But then when you're just thinking about your aha, then you're no longer paying attention, or
Well, I get afraid that I'll forget because that
yeah,
was
so
so,
then you're already preoccupied and not listening
yeah.
anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I'm like, oh, don't lose it. Don't lose it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then somehow it just subconsciously comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dang.
Yeah, that happens to me too. I think just need to carry around notebooks or something and write it down.
Yeah. I've gotten better though, but I could tell like, oh, there's a little bit still more work in that.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm working through and that's okay.
Yeah, so what's the work in that for you?
Um, just being more mindful of like working with a part of me that is fearing to forget because
Uh,
it was so judged as a negative thing.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
don't forget. Don't forget.
Mm-hmm. Like, why do you always forget? I asked you, like, don't forget this, and you forgot it. Or like, I asked you to go get me something at the market, and then you forgot again. Like, you always forget one thing. It's kind of like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
I could
yeah.
see that being something scary you never want to forget in the
Mm-hmm.
future. Yeah,
Because it was like part of the theme of my life growing up.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Clumsy, forgetful. That's it.
Oh, well, we can do a deep dive on that at some point.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
wouldn't mind. I don't think I did a whole lot of focus on that at all, actually.
yeah. That sounds like it could be
Yeah.
juicy.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Thanks.
Well, anyway,
This was a good conversation.
yeah, befriending the shadow and wait, what did you call that? The the thing you disapprove of?
A flaw? Wait,
Flaw.
oh,
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Loving your
yeah,
flaws.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Let's end it on that note.
yeah. Good one.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks for the combo.
Likewise, I'll connect with you next week.
Bye.
Bye.